friends, and welcome back to my channel. And as you can see, this is going to be a day to night transition fall tutorial, and obviously I'm in the fall spirit. I have this little pumpkin and whatever these things are, I don't know. But if you guys like the new background, don't forget to give me a like, and if you want to see how to get this look, then just keep on watching. I did self-tan today, and so I'm a little bit tanner than I was. I'm not really sure what color I'm going to be right now in foundation, so what I plan on doing is mixing these two. This is a L'Oreal True Match, and this is the Nars All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation. And normally when I'm really tan, this will match me, but I'm going to use a little bit of this to lighten it up. So today I'm using this Morphe E6 Flat Top Kabuki to stipple this all over my skin. Also, I find when I'm using a flat top kabuki, I get a better finish of my foundation if I stipple like this, or if I just use downward strokes like this, like really small ones, versus a kabuki brush that has a rounder tip, kind of like this one right here. It has a little bit rounder of a tip. Those are better for like circular movements and buffing, but these are better for this type of movement. And just a little bit more, just in some spots that I need a little extra coverage. Look at this mustache. You will never bring your family honor! For the places where I need extra coverage, I'm just gonna stipple like this, and that's gonna make sure that I get better coverage. Duh, girl. Okay, moving on. I am going to take this Sephora Bright Future concealer, and this is a gel formula, and I'm going to conceal my under eye area. Don't get crazy. So to blend this in, I'm using the Sigma F64 Soft Blend Concealer, and I recently got this brush, and I'm using it constantly. I really like it. It helps you keep a lot of coverage under your under eye area, because if you use, say, like a beauty blender, then that's going to absorb a lot of excess product. Even though it's a wet sponge, it's still going to absorb a lot of product. And so with this brush, I find that I have to use less concealer because the tool that I'm using to blend it in is not taking it all away. To set my concealer and my oilier spots, I'm going in with the original Anastasia Contour Kit, and this is a Morphe M178 brush. It's just a little powder brush, and I'm going to blend these two together and then tap off the excess and then powder my under eye area. By powdering, this is going to keep the concealed areas from traveling throughout the day. I swear to God, this damn headband. The only reason I'm wearing this headband is because I haven't blow dried my hair yet, so I have like these crazy flyaways, and I subjected you to my flyaways in the last video, and I don't want to do that to you again. Okay, next up, I'm actually going back into this contour kit, and I'm going to use this Zoeva Face Shape Brush, the number 110, and I'm going to contour. I'm going to use this middle shade right here to carve out some cheekbones. And starting from the top of the ear area, I'm just going to go back and forth in a straight line, just a little short line. It doesn't have to go all the way to the middle of my cheek or all the way to the corner of my mouth. And just that little short line is going to give the impression that I have more defined cheekbones once I start to blend it out. God dang it! Sorry, you get flyaways. I can't handle this headband anymore. I don't know if my head is too little or too big for that stupid headband, but it just like shoots off. If I let it go backwards long enough, it'll go boing and like, you know. Same thing, I'm just going to contour my forehead, and I don't have an extremely enormous forehead, I don't think, so I'm not going to spend too much time up here. I just want to get a little bit of dimension going on. And when you're contouring your forehead and your temples, do not be afraid to get that in your hairline. Makeup comes out of your hair pretty easily, so. But you don't want that line of demarcation between your contour and your hair. Like, you don't want that white line, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you what you want and you don't want. Other places I like to contour are double chin, nose, so I'm just going to do that real quick. I'm not actually going to be using a bronzer today. I'm just going to go back into the contour kit, and I think I'm going to use this little guy right here. And I'm just going to use that to bronze a little bit. And this is a Make It Geek blush brush. And I'm just gonna warm up my cheeks and my forehead. That's it, nothing crazy. Oh crap, now I can't remember which one I used. Just gonna guess. Hopefully they're the same color. Okay, as I was saying, Basically for the bronzer, I'm going to do the same thing right here as I did with my contour, just with less product and a little bit wider of a radius. The contour is very specific because it's supposed to look like your bone structure, but with the bronzer, we're basically just warming up the skin. So if we just use a little bit of product and use big blending movements, then it'll look more natural because this is so natural looking. Next, this part is totally unnecessary, but you can always do it if you want to, if you have the extra, I don't know, 15, 20 seconds to do it. I'm just gonna take this large powder brush. This is also from the Morphe Elite collection. It's limited edition. I'm gonna take a little bit of this powder right here on the tip of the brush and do that under my contour. And it's not gonna be super duper obvious. It's just gonna help set that area because I do tend to get a little oily right here, and it's also gonna help carve out the contour a little bit so it's gonna look a little bit more defined than it would otherwise. Okay, so of course this is a day to night transition tutorial, so you don't have to do the contour, you don't have to do the bronze, you don't have to do full coverage foundation if that's not what you want to do. You just kind of have to cater the skin part to whatever you like to do. As far as blush, I'm actually going to take MAC Warm Soul, and you can see it's like this mauve-y color, has a little bit of like, I don't know, gold reflex in it. And with a natural hair blush brush, this is the MAC 168, I'm just going to put a tiny amount of this on my cheekbones. And I'm not going to do like apples of the cheeks, I'm just going to do a little bit like right here. Alright, so now I have my daytime face makeup finished, and what I'm going to do next is take some MAC Fix Plus and my Beauty Blender, and I'm going to spray this guy pretty good. Even though I really like the full coverage look that the Kabuki brush gives me with the Beauty Blender, this is going to take all of the powders that are on top of my skin and just kind of melt them into my skin. That way it doesn't look like I have powder sitting on top of my skin, and it's just going to take whatever excess foundation doesn't want to settle, and it's going to absorb it into the sponge. So next I'm moving on to my eyebrows, and the products I'll be using are the Anastasia Brow Wiz in the color Taupe and the Dip Brow in the color Soft Brown. The reason why I'm using the dip brow instead of just the pencil is because with the dip brow, it's more long lasting and it's also waterproof. That way, during the day, if I happen to sweat or bump into my eyebrows, something like that, they're not gonna budge. All right, we are moving on to the eyes, and to prime, I'm using this MAC Paint Pot in Painterly. Now for eyeshadows, I am really excited about this next product. I will be working almost exclusively out of this new BHxCarlibel palette. It is beautiful, and these are all wonderful fall colors that you have, like gold, bronze, copper, maroon, champagne. You have like a transition color right here. You have these mauve shades, a dark brown, not to mention the 4 highlighters that are down at the bottom, and these are all excellent quality eyeshadows. I've swatched them all, and I'm really impressed, to be quite honest. And this palette did launch for, I believe, $12.50, and they're going to relaunch for that same price, I think, one more time, and then after that it's going to go up to full price. So if you can, get this palette for the lower price, obviously. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the skin tone shade right here and use this to set the eye primer, basically in the crease area and on the lid. The next color I'm taking is actually not in the palette because it didn't have a transition shade that I wanted to use for the daytime. So instead, I'm taking this MAC Pro color, and this is called Uninterrupted, and it's like a yellowy brown. I'm just going to blend this back and forth in the upper outer crease. And this is one of my, probably like my #1 holy grail blending brush, and the reason why is because you can put it flat in the crease and make it skinny, or you can turn it sideways to where it's a little bit whiter, and that way you can blend out the crease color that you just applied. Now I am going back into this palette, and I'm actually going to be using this color right here, and it's very similar to the gold color that's next to it. It just is a bit more of a rose gold than this gold right here. So I'm going to take a little bit of this on a flat brush and pack that really lightly on my lid. So that is actually going to do it for the daytime eyeshadow look. I'm just going to go with the 2 really simple colors, and for the nighttime look we're really going to vamp it up a little bit more. So next I'm just going to apply a coat of mascara. I will be using the Sigma High Caliber Lash, and this is a lengthening formula. One of my favorite fall trends that comes back every single year is the vampy lip, but it's not really a daytime look. I would wear it during the daytime. I did just the other day, but For most people that doesn't work, so what I'm going to do is just a simple pinky nude lip. The colors that I'm taking are this Sigma lip base in the color Indulgent, and I'm going to fill my lips in with this color. What I like about these lip bases from Sigma is that they're a really large pencil, plus they're really creamy, and you can use it either as a lip liner or you can wear it by itself. Then after that, I'm going in with Nars lip gloss in the color Striptease. So I'm going to take a little bit of this gloss and put it right in the middle and on my Cupid's bow. The gloss is going to give me a little bit of moisture because sometimes those matte colors are a little bit uncomfortable to wear for extended periods. And also by putting the lighter color lip gloss in the center, it's going to give the lips more dimension and make them look fuller. So you guys, this is the completed daytime look, and as you can see, it's completely appropriate for school, work, job interviews, anything that you have going on during the day. This look would be totally perfect for. And don't forget, you don't have to follow this tutorial to a T. You don't have to use the same colors or the same products. If I use more makeup than you are comfortable wearing, then, you know, exclude certain products or substitute whatever you want to substitute to make this look comfortable for you to wear. Because this makeup look is nice and simple, you can pair it with any outfit colors that you want or any accessories that you want and it's gonna look good. I chose these little skull earrings from Betsey Johnson and this ring from Charming Charlie. So now that we have the daytime segment of this makeup tutorial completed, I'm going to show you how to transition from this into nighttime appropriate makeup. So since we're going to be going a little bit more dramatic for the nighttime look, let's take into account the fall trend colors. A lot of burgundies and wine colors, bronze eyes, olive greens, things of that nature. That is actually why this new palette, the CarliBel palette, is perfect for fall, because you have all of these shimmery shades that are right on trend this year, as well as like this aubergine color right here. The first thing I'm going to do is actually take this bronze color here right in the middle, and I'm going to apply that all over my lid. If you don't have this palette, a good substitute for this bronze color would be Antiqued by MAC. It's a very similar color, just a little bit darker. Next, I'm going back into MAC Uninterrupted, and I'm going to blend this in the crease again, just like earlier, but it's going to deepen the color, and I'm going to take it a little bit further into the inner corner and a little bit higher up to make this look a bit more blown out. Next, I'm taking this pencil from NYX in the color Bronze Shimmer, and I'm going to run this on my lower lash line. Don't worry about being neat with this part. It can be a thick line, a thin line, it doesn't matter. We're just going to blend it out. Next, we're going back into MAC Uninterrupted, and I'm going to use a Zoeva Luxe Petite Crease brush. It's like a large pencil brush, and I'm going to blend out the bottom half of the eyeliner we just applied. And when I'm blending here, you can see I'm not taking the tip of the brush all the way up into my lashes. I'm keeping this kind of low. And then next, on an even smaller brush, I'm going to take some more of the bronze color from the palette and blend out the eyeliner in the lashes. So higher up and more precise than what we were just doing. Next, I'm taking the darkest color in the palette right here, this deep neutral brown. On my Zoeva Petite Crease brush, I'm going to get a little tiny bit of that and tap off the excess. Then what I'm going to do is take any flat surface. You can use a credit card. I usually use my movie theater club card. And I'm going to create a flat line like this and smoke out a wing using just this eyeshadow. So I'm just going to be building up this shadow in a wing shape on the outer corner, and then I'm going to bring a tiny bit into the outer crease as well. And feel free to wing this out as much or as little as you want. Since I have my eyeshadow really winged out, I want to use lashes that are going to give kind of that same effect. So I'm using the House of Lashes Iconic. My favorite lash glue for a long time has been the Duo Brush-On Lash Glue, and I recently found this black formula. So we only have a couple steps left for the nighttime makeup. The next thing I'm going to do is take this Milani blush, and this is in the color Bellissimo Bronze. Yeah, Bellissimo. I drop things. This is in the color Bellissimo Bronze, and it's like a kind of like a dark coral with some gold reflects in it. Same brush I used earlier. This is a natural hair brush. And I'm just going to use this to deepen the cheek color that I applied earlier. We didn't use highlighter earlier, but now we're going to. This is the new Anastasia Beverly Hills highlighter in the color Riviera. And it's kind of hard to describe. It's almost like a rose gold. So I'm going to use my favorite highlighter brush, this Sigma E35. And I'm going to go ham right now. I don't think there's such a thing as too much highlighter. As far as I'm concerned, if you can't see my highlighter from space, then it didn't really happen. Last step in this look is going to be a vampy lip, and I'm going to be using MAC Nightmoth liner with Nars Audacious lipstick in the color Live. Then just to make sure the lines around the lips are nice and smooth, I'm going to take a little bit more foundation on a flat brush and just kind of outline that. And that was the final step in this look. That's it for today's look. I hope you guys found this enjoyable, and if you have any other requests for videos, don't forget to leave those down in the comments below. And if you want to take our relationship to the next level, don't forget to like and subscribe if you are not subscribed yet. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!